a fruit tree. So this is the background, and in the dimming light, you can see around you. You can see that there's kind of a grassy little meadow here, and then there's grapevines along here, and there's a bunch of brambles over here, blackberry patch, and then over here there's an orchard of several different kinds of fruit trees, and then along here are several different gardens. But it's like, doesn't look like anybody's.
It's run wild for a while.
It's run wild for a long time, and the only kinds of plants you notice in there are ones that, from your experience with gardening, they're perennials. They come back, they self-seed. Nothing in here looks like it's something that would have to be planted or replaced every year, because if it was here, it's gone. So the only stuff that grows is stuff that used to be tended and planted, but at the same time, it's still full of life, and clearly it's flourishing. But it seems...
They're happy with the plants.
So, what do?
I'm going to walk past the meadow and investigate kind of where the tree area and the springs.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and do a search roll there. Or actually, explore is fine. Whichever. You can use search or explore. Hunting wouldn't be so useful here.
Okay, I'm going to use search.
Okay.
12, 14 with Gale.
So as you do this, you're doing it in kind of a reverent fashion where, you stowed away your axe, you're looking around, you're quiet, you're curious, you're being thoughtful, looking carefully, and the only thing that really comes to you is that these trees, though the place looks abandoned, these trees look like they're in extremely good health. And they don't look like ancient trees. They look like none of them could be more than 60 or 70 years old. So
They're close.
Something put it here. So, and that's certainly shows signs of having been cared of in the past, even in the recent past, recent in terms of trees. All right, anybody else? What are your actions?
Missing by 60 years is still a lot better than missing by 4,000. So.
Right.
This is close. We are right there.
Well, I was going to see, are there any holes or anything that would indicate, even if it's by 60 years?
Footprints or what?
Not necessarily, footprints, but something coming out of the ground and moving.
Oh, I see. No.
Okay.
Are there any empty spots like there were in the other groves?
Right. No, there are not. At least ways you can't tell because there's no circular grove. There's no sign of something missing. Everything that's here feels strangely complete.
Okay.
Which is odd, considering that feels both abandoned on the one hand and complete on the other hand. So that's kind of strange to you. Why would it feel both ways? Anybody else? Want to do any more searching?
I'd like to go do searching among the fruit trees.
Okay, let's shoot and see if people can see that down there.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, because, they're probably just ordinary fruit trees, but Treebeard looks very familiar, and they talk about ants going to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just want to really thoroughly check and make sure, or see if there's anything that indicates where they might have been looking to go next.
Okay, so you're checking all the trees. Maybe they might be ants that have gone
To sleep.
tree-ish to sleep. Any possibility there?
So, 23.
Okay. All right, so you look at each tree and investigate it carefully, kind of doing what you did, but
Sort of reverently running my hands along.
right, just checking. Is there any sign that this might have been an ant at one point? Even checking the willows, just to see.
Mm-hmm.
And you really, the fruit trees, there's nothing antish that you can tell about them, at least nothing from what you saw at the tree garden. The willows, As you touch them, there's a little tremor underneath that you feel, but it doesn't quite feel the same as Ent.
And I've spent a lot of time in the Shire, so I know, like in the Tombaka village with the willow man who will try and eat you with his roots. So I'm very weary of willows. I like
Pretty
to
brave
hear
of
a
you to-
good tree.
Pretty brave
But
of
if
you
it
to rub your
moves,
hands
I
on
am
it.
jumping back like a startled cat. I'm
Okay,
like,
well,
ah!
well, your courage in attempting to see what it would be like, even though you're afraid of willows, gives you an experience.
I know this sounds almost like we would violate something, but I want to take a piece of fruit off the tree.
You could try it.
Just a pear.
There's fruit there.
Eve, don't do it!
You did avoid the apple trees.
I picked a pear. I didn't pick an apple. No, I'm just kidding. Nobody knows what fruit it was. But
Did you pick a pear or just a single
just a
one?
pear.
A pear or a single one?
No, pear.
I'm teasing you.
What?
P-A-I-R.
Oh,
I was just teasing. Sorry. I was
Pick a
messing with
pear.
your head.
Pick a pair of
A
pears.
single pear. Wait, what? Yes, you got a pear. Nothing happens.
okay. I thought maybe
Do you
you might
eat it?
move.
Did you take a bite?
Sure, why not?
Take a bite. Tastes really good.
I bet it does.
Yeah. Did you lose any points? Did you lose any endurance points when you were eating?
A few, yeah.
You get one back.
Oh.
It's really good fruit.
I assume it sounds enjoyment.
I want one.
Seeing no ill effects, I go and gobble a few strawberries.
All right. You guys find some snacky snacks that look really yummy? Yeah?
Really fun.
Everybody does?
We're rating the
Okay, so anybody who lost endurance points before can add one back.
we're rating Manway's kitchen.
Humans get to love it.
Manway's.
Let's
And
be honest,
Manway's
it's not
kitchen.
Manway's anything, it's Ivana's.
That's right. That's right. Ivana. Ivana's up in the clouds.
He's
Okay.
the Eagles. These guys are
That's
definitely
right.
Ivana.
Okay. As it's starting to get towards twilight, and as you've been eating this fruit, you get this incredible sense of peace. This is a really good place. You're really thankful that the orcs didn't manage to climb in here and try to steal this fruit, because you have a feeling that they would defile the place. They would leave it spoiled. And you know that there's something about this spring that's special. As it gets a little bit more dim towards twilight, you hear this voice, mumbling the sing-song voice. Ah la 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 umba, Commander Lindor Burume, Lora Lindor Enan Lindor Endor Melinor Nelion Nor Nembandin. In the shadows behind the brambles, you see something moving. Okay, it's a little oversized, but the point is,
Hello there. Aye, aye,
so the brambles actually grew up along the wall, and this large shape kind of parts this curtain of brambles, and it doesn't really step, but kind of sways a little bit and looks over the brambles towards you. You see this giant thing bent over and browner than Treebeard, her viney hair parched by the sun to the hue of ripe corn, and her skin rough like woody grapevines. Yet her eyes, in this dim light, you can still see, are wide, deep green eyes, like the Ents, like twin wells of sorrow and joy. You have found a solitary Ent wife, but she seems very tree-ish. She seems rooted to the spot, but as she sways, she speaks, but this time in words that you can understand. Whom visitors, I am Wineberry, the Ent wife. I am the last of my kind. This is Tarwa Adalome, the garden of the tree twilight. I protect the spring from enemies who would foul it. She yawns. And then yawns very big. Are you enemies?
We are friends.
Friends.
We've come from Treebeard.
Treebeard. Ah. Fangorn.
Yes.
Fangorn. I know this name, but I have forgotten who it is.
They are the Ents to which once played the counterpart to the Ent wives themselves.
Yes, we came from far, long ago. We did. You are friends. I welcome you. She closes her eyes and she goes tree-ish again.
Okay.
I'm not sure we can really wake up an ant if she's
We have the magic spring. What if we water her?
I like that idea.
Does she look like she's kind of dried out at all?
Nope. She looks in
Healthy.
good health for being thousands of
Her
years
mind
old.
is just.
Well, when you're all by yourself a long time, that can happen.
We're isolated.
Yeah.
And
try to
she said her
bring
name was
out.
Wineberry?
What would that be like in the names?
Great.
No, in the
Elvish.
names of the trees, what they would normally call themselves to each other.
Oh, well,
what
she hasn't told you her elders.
Milady Wineberry, we were asked to inquire about Finbrethril in particular.
You're gonna have to do a roll to try to wake her up enough to listen to you.
Okay, okay.
Let's see, what would make the most sense? I should know this.
Inspired
I don't
life.
think you can slap the tree. I don't think
I'm
it
not
works.
slapping the tree.
The other two
Can I
try.
try to
Wait,
Yeah, I don't think
I
inspired.
tried with the pommel of the sword.
Bad idea.
They get wet.
My inspire or my persuader, the same roll, so I can do one of
You
those.
only do 4 hit points of damage.
Well, you can't wake her up. You can't persuade her.
Okay, so
I'm
you could
inspiring her to it. I can
you
say
could use courtesy, persuade, or inspire, or song.
I start singing the song of the Ent-wives and the Ents.
Well, initiative. She had the idea first. We'll let her try. Then you may try if she's not successful.
I'll use courtesy. It's the same number as dice.
With courtesy, get the
That's
difference.
cool.
12, 14, 15 with an extraordinary success. And I will spend a health point if you want me to.
No, that's okay. You speak of Finbrethril. I knew her. I know her. Finbrethril. Yes, but I was dreaming. There were Burarum, orcs coming to.
We felled them
How did you
for you,
describe
milady.
Did it happen? They came.
They came.
I did not see them.
They
We
did not
dispatched
make
them.
it with them.
They came so close. It was good that you stopped them. She starts to get a little bit more awake now. She's still kind of phasing in and out, so if you want to,
I'll start to quietly sing and sort of let the,
go ahead.
I pull out the vellum that I wrote it down on.
The
Okay.
villain. I mean, we've had enough freaking year.
That's good enough. That's good enough.
Great success.
Yeah, and mark your success. And song. Okay, so you sing of what? What do you sing about?
I sing the song that Treebeard sang to us.
This starts to wake up Wineberry even further, and you could see her hair swaying. She looks up and stretches. Oh, I have been asleep a long time. She doesn't walk.
She
She
kind of
walks.
planned
Still
it.
rooted. Bring her up close. Thank you for protecting the sacred spring from these Burarum. I am awake now. I am awake. What are you? I am Wineberry. You are
We are friends of the Ents of Fanghorn.
friends. Yes, you are friends. You have come. Why have you come? Why have you come?
We've been looking for the Ent-wives.
Treebeard and the others want to know where you all went.
Yes.
See if you're all right.
Yes, it has been long since we have learned any news. Long. I am glad, but where are you from? What forest did you grow in?
I am from the Shire, my lady.
The Shire. Is that near the mountains?
Past the mountains.
Past the mountains. Where are you from?
I'm a man of Dale.
I do not know the city. Is it a new city?
For your folk, yes.
It must be far away.
Of course, the misty mountain.
The Misty Mountains, yes. I know those mountains. I once dwelt long ago near the southern edge of that range, but we planted gardens and the ants moved away. They wandered, they came back, but then they always wandered to look for new places, and we grew apart. We moved our gardens again because of the threat from the north, the evil that was in the north in the old days. But then men came and learned from us, and we taught them many things. But now we are so few. So few. I am the last to stay,
Do you
but
know?
there are others.
Do you know where your sisters went?
We came here from the Brownlands long ago. We blessed the land and taught the people. This hidden valley was our sanctuary. Then evil men from the east were fighting in Dorwinion many years ago, and we held a moot. East was no longer where peace dwells. So again, most chose to move. But I chose to stay. This was after the long winter, some 100 years ago, although I cannot remember how long it has been in the ages of men. I stayed to preserve our work among men, though they no longer believe in us. My sisters went south of the sea to the hot lands where the sun lives. That is their hope, but I have not seen them again. I wish I could teach you a song of earth, sun, and water, then you could bring back to your land the Shire. I would like that land, but Wineberry stays. The others can teach you. I forgot the words. I'm so tired. My roots drink deep to Ulmo. My branches stretch to Manway. I sing with Yavanna to Eluvatar, to he who is alone, to the Father of all. That reminds me of a song we used to sing. That would be very nice for you to learn. How did it begin? O sun which rises in the east and sails across the sky, final fruit of the golden tree and sign of hope nearby. Oh dear, I have forgotten the rest. O sun which rises in the east, I have forgotten, but maybe you will learn it from the others to help your land, as I cannot go there anymore. The land of men has forgotten us. You must learn it from others. I wish you well, but I am going tree-ish again. Go south if you would seek them. Go south to the hot lands. I must rest, she yawns again. I have not spoken for so many years to another. Oh, I'm getting sleepy. You may take food of the garden, more food if you need. It will be a long journey. It will be difficult, but
They're south of the Inland Sea.
south of the sea. Blessings on you. And she retreats into the brambles and covers them over herself like a curtain.
Should we go back to Trigger? No, we found we can go back south. Or should we go straight south?
Continue.
We're early on this
Went
way.
for a walk. We didn't have the resources to traverse the desert.
So let me show you.
Okay.
map.
Which sea is she talking about?
Well, that little one there,
sea
Rune is
Sea Rune is what she's talking about.
But where are we on this
yeah,
map?
extra copies of the map again.
Are we
Yes,
at
we
the?
do. It's
Are we right?
Let me,
Are we right here?
Hold on. I've got a map and sure it is.
No, right here. We were the where the
We
water
were.
was. No, I don't
I think we're in the
know.
mountains alongside the
Hold on. Here we go. That shows you where you are.
yeah, we're there.
On the northern
Wow,
edge of
yeah.
this.
Okay.
So what is it?
So the sea is right here. Okay.
Eek. I wonder if they're in Mordor.
No.
They wouldn't be absolutely.
Oh,
They're not that far
land is
south.
Probably further.
For the last couple hundred years? Probably.
I read a thing once that described Mordor as like the result of acid rains that are inspired by
But the back end
Mhm.
is more bombastic.
Yep.
They have to get the food somewhere.
It's true. All right. What's your decision?
I think we head back to get the supplies for the desert. We can sell some of the stuff we have, and exchange for what we need. We can get Treebeard enough to eat, and then we can come back.
It will take us weeks to get all the way to Treebeard. If we,
And it's bad.
Do you think we
We're
can
almost to December.
traverse the desert?
yeah. Pardon?
Do you think we'll be able to traverse the desert with the
And we- People closer to the desert will have access
Yeah,
to
I'd say we
materials
can
needed
resupply
for
without
the
going all
desert.
the way back to Treebeard.
Perhaps, but Mordor is what lay south of us, and that's still full of orcs.
That's
I'm
what
going to be
you
perfectly honest. If we hit the mountains of Mordor, we're not going to cross them without going back and getting reinforcements.
We'll probably.
Well, but we're on the north side of the room, and we want to be on the south side of the
So-
room.
Just to make clear, these are plains over here. This is the eastern waste. This is more of the same plains that you went through, south of the sea.
Where's the desert start?
The desert starts here at Khan.
Okay.
So this is eastern waste. So basically you have essentially plains or prairie, sagebrush steppes, desert.
So, with the desert, is Gondor still at war with Harad?
What's that?
Is Gondor still at war with Harad?
No, Harad has been subdued, and is a part now of
The kingdom?
the kingdom.
Now, is Khan just a region, or is that an actual settlement?
It's a region that is not under the jurisdiction of. Here we go. I don't know. I gave that to you earlier, but that helps.
Okay. So, all of that is potentially hostile.
So basically, Harad is all this has been subdued and is now part of the United Kingdom. It belongs to
This.
This is not.
How
Yeah.
barren is it?
You don't know until you go. You just know that you've heard that near Harad has various kinds of deserts. Some are more
Deserty desert.
deserty. Yeah, some are more.
Well, technically, most
That's
of Central Washington is a desert.
Exactly.
So there are varying degrees of desert.
So there's going to be some
Not
places
also
that are
very-
more sand dunes. There's going to be some places that are more inhabitable.
Well,
You know, you have a sneaking suspicion that there'd have to be somewhere near water.
Right.
Yeah. But the question is, how far south did they actually go?
Yeah.
I don't
It
think it
comes
was
down to
actually-
how far, like Columbus is meant. How far do we go before we turn back?
Right.
I
I think
think
the turn
this
back
is-
point is the outer mountains of Mordor. I don't think
Yeah.
we'll go
I think this is a perfect time to turn back around, go back to Treebeard, go back to everyone, tell them what we found, so that if they decide to go past down here, they can have an actual embassy set up, and it's not just a group like us.
Well, I mean, we're adventurers, we wander around, but
Yeah, but don't.
I think a good point to go back to Gondor is Europe in case we do have to go to the desert, because after the northern mountains doesn't it start to turn into sage steppes and brush.
Yeah, this is sagebrush, and remember, this is the area where there's like farmland. Where the slaves used to work. They were captured and forced to work this area as the breadbasket of Mordor. And this is the only area that's completely.
That.
Yeah, it's just
I'm still thinking it's going to be like on this side of the on the lake, I mean,
Yeah.
sea right here, right?
I
Right
know, it's a
off
little
there.
weird to have inland seas, I'm with you. Keep talking. See, my biggest problem is we're like here-ish. I don't want to go all the way back here when they might be right here.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's what we're saying is go to the northern edge and then go back.
We can follow the northern steps of the mountains
Right.
and head
And then we can go to Gondor.
Gondor if we need
Okay.
We can
We
send
can
a
look-
messenger up.
I mean, if we need to, we can go to Gondor and spend the rest of the winter because they said 3 to 12 months.
Yes.
We're only a month and a half in. We started in like September.
I mean, if we really want to
About
be
2 months.
thorough, we could go.
Of course,
more.
you know, midnight, sometime tonight.
We'll have compressed travel.
We might actually be
Yeah.
capable of getting an escort. How
Give us a
dangerous is Mordor?
Barad-dûr has fallen. The foundations have been destroyed. They were never destroyed before, which means that not only is Sauron, by the destruction of the ring, no longer able to return to Middle-earth, but his minions. Along the edges, there's still remnants. The great spider, which you've heard terrible tales of, may still lurk somewhere in there. But all of the armies are disbanded. All the armies are disbanded. Nurin was given by King Elessar to the slaves that worked it. And now Nurin is a free land.
So this
Which-
part right here.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
And I'm looking at the.
You know, a breadbasket's supposed to be fertile.
They're like
Yes.
they're like their own little mini kingdom. They're not technically part of this, but they recognize the king. They recognize him as a high king, even though that is not part of the United Kingdom. But obviously
They're like, you're bigger than us. We'll listen to you.
yeah, and obviously,
they're friendly.
Well, yeah, he's the one who gave us our kingdom and freed us from our chains. We like him.
and he is in his vested interest to make sure that Mordor never again becomes what it was.
So I say go to the northern edge if we don't find the Unwise. Go to Gondor, resupply, send a messenger up to either the Shire or
Treebeard or both.
Treebeard or both, and then go to Nirn, and then go south from there, just around.
Right.
All right.
That's my.
So does the company travel south from the foothills of Dorwinion?
I believe so. It seems like the general.
Since you are the guide, Relsora,
Yeah.
do you think there's any clues that you think that you should look for when you're going? What should the rest of the group be looking for?
Well, I want to be looking. What's the composite? It's prairies, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, so
plains.
Is there?
I think we're still gonna look for the moss from the Misty Mountains for sure.
Mhm.
We're also gonna look for any other form now of plants, but now we're gonna want to look for anything that was in that meadow because if the Entwives lived in there, something from in there may have gotten on them, and they could be transporting it along.
Clever.
And that could be our
Before we go, I want to load up on
Produce.
and water.
Well, they're talking. You're just practically taking care
Yes.
of business. And
The horses are over
You're-
here eating in the meadow.
yeah. And you're so you're supplying.
Are we going back to the city? Is that what we decided
Well,
to
so-
get some supplies?
So what we're gonna
We're
do?
pretty well supplied at the moment.
Yeah.
We're just stocking up on food and then looking at going
So we'll
south.
go from here
Wine.
down to here. If we don't find anything between there, we're going to go to Gondor. As Tirith, we're going to send messengers up to the Shire and Isengard, and then we're going to go to Nirn and Mordor, and then we're going to go around the mountain south.
Okay.
We could even take the actual roads these days. It's been 20 years. It would be.
Are there roads in the back?
There are
There's
some.
a gate.
There are some roads, but in the area you're talking about, in here, there are no roads around this because it's not a well-traveled area. There are roads along the river here, and then down along the northern edge of Mordor, there's a road that goes to the east that the Easterlings used when they came and they were summoned by Sauron. They came along this road and then entered in through the Black Gate.
So we'll take that road back to
Okay,
Gondor.
I understand that it's south past the sea. The question I have is, that's kind of the general direction. We don't really have any other clues to kind of give us more.
Well, that's I think what
It's better clues
singular.
than we've had to this point.
I think that's what you're
what we're doing is
Austin's point is to look
we're
forward.
yeah what I'm hoping we can do is kind of as much as we can fan out a little bit, and we're going to try and every place we go with a pretty fine-tooth comb. So if we get any clues, we're instantly on our trail.
We're looking for the moss that you found a few
Yeah.
times. We're looking for any
Any-
interesting herbs that we found in the garden.
Yeah, or if there
isn't
were
the
mo-
Sea of Rune bigger than Middle Earth? No?
No, comparatively.
Is it just what's on the map, or is there...
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, it's the actual sea, because I thought there was also like grass.
Sea of Cuiviana is further to the east. That's where the elves woke, and that's much larger.
That's what
Okay.
I was thinking.
Okay, guys. So, are you
All the
satisfied,
maps of the
Corey? With did you have to
all
ask
of
any other questions, or
No, I mean, I know we need to go south. It's just a matter of, in my opinion, I'm just thinking vaguely. I want to know where we're going to catch a clue. That's
Well,
the
so-
hard part.
I have a good plan in mind. It's just as we hit the road, I'm still thinking of how to execute it.
okay? All right. So you gather up as much food as you can, reasonably carry, and
Magic fruit.
yes, there's no dead limbs in here. Did you notice that? Go ahead.
I propose that we make sure that we clear the bodies out of the river and take them here to this place.
Good.
We clear the bodies out of the river.
The orcs.
Oh, okay.
Who wants to help? Otherwise, he's going to do it on his own.
I'll give my hand.
Well, I don't see why we can't all.
So all of you get an experience point for helping to clean the river and drink its stew.
For
Or
thinking of it.
you
It
thought of
gives
it.
idea.
So that honors the fact that if you left the bodies in the river, then they would no longer the river would not be able to be a blessing down below.
Right, and
That would have been a poor thanks to our senior friend. What if she'll
Great
list?
grandpa died from drinking water near Colville from a stream along the. It was basically 1908. So we think that something died in the creek up at the month, and he didn't realize it. So you drink from the stream, and he got typhoid fever.
So before we left the road group here?
We're back around here cleaning up bodies.
Okay. Well, before we leave, I want to, with additional cloth, if I can, and I'm going to try and ask Wildberry, if I can grab samples of moss and other plants and take them with me as reference pieces.
She said we could take fruit, so I assume
She kind of gave you a blanket opportunity to take anything as long as it would destroy it and the taking
Yeah.
of. So you interpret that widely to mean you can take some as a sample as long as you're not destroying it.
Yeah, no, I just want like a small piece so I can use that as an identifier.
Yep.
So you
And I
got.
want a wide berth.
Yeah, and you notice that the moss grows all around the pool with the spring there.
Yeah.
It's the same moss.
Oh, okay. Because I think that's going to be our clue to where they go, is if we can follow that moss to the meadows.
Okay, guys, we need to move on. So I'm going to go ahead and get
we're
started.
at like 8:45. We need to.
All right, so the company travels south. And are you following your guide's idea of kind of fanning out? Just kind of looking as you go
Right.
along,
Uh-huh.
or
Yeah,
within
we-
eyesight of each other?
Do we
Yeah,
skirt
within-
the mountains and go along the bottom edge of the sea before we start heading all the way south?
Right. So we
Yeah.
follow the side of the.
Yeah,
Because the freshwater sea, they could be anywhere along the southern shore.
yeah.
Well, that's why I wanted to do the fan teams, even
Yeah.
if it's a small amount of space. It's still way better than us traveling in like
In a line.
Yeah.
Agreed.
a road runs south, or is it just go?
I'll look it up. But I just,
If I remember correctly, I don't know if this is true or not, but I thought there was a city.
well, Dorwinian is often
I love
represented as a place there, but at this point, so I'm going to say that there's no road nearby, and as you kind of, you get the sense, once again, Entwives aren't really about the mountains and the high forest. That was always more of an Ent thing. So thinking Entwivelishly, you're going to take the easiest path down. And so going along this side, skirting these mountains and coming around to the southern part of the sea and looking there, you don't see anything yet. But on the fourth day of making camp, you find a perfect campsite under an old apple tree, which is odd because there's no other trees, no trees at all, for miles. The southern edge of the sea river doesn't have any trees. So, like, as far as you can see on the whole horizon, there are no other trees. This is the only one. And it's a really old tree. If any of you have, you remember in your rhymes of lore about something about apples, trees, and how they grow, and how thick they are based on how many years they've lived. And based on that rhyme of lore that you remember from your studies, you think this tree is possibly 300 years old. Not many apple trees can be that big, but this one is. I mean, its trunk is like this, which for apple trees is absurd. It's huge. And its branches are scraggly and stretching all over.
It probably doesn't actually grow much fruit anymore.
It's not super good apples, you noticed. They're kind of, when a tree is really old. But it's still bearing fruit. It's still alive. Even though some branches clearly have broken off. And it's looking...
And that's the only thing, if the Entwise have been this way, then that means that this makes sense. I mean, if they've been this way, I mean, this tree, this apple tree, because they seem to like fruit. Fruit seems to be something that they, yeah.
So, you're going to head south from the apple tree after the night?
We scout around the apple tree to see if there's anything else.
Yeah, and I wanted to do...
There's no moss there.
Okay. And... Sorry, I'm
That's fine.
Apple tree.
Huh?
South
Yeah, I think that's the best.
On the steps from the apple tree, turn left, big here.
During the night, a storm came through while you were kind of thinking about what to do. And during the night, a storm came through, rainstorm. But this apple tree is 40 feet tall, and its branches easily protect you, both horses and riders, from getting soaked. Your horses, everybody's able to shelter underneath it. So, in the morning, what do you decide to do?
I watered the apple tree and things before we go.
Okay.
I know it's just raining, but it's about to count.
Let's head south.
I plant one of the apple seeds nearby.
Apple seeds from...
South for
Okay. So replace it so that when this tree is gone, another tree can come up. Good idea.
Give it a little company in the meantime.
There you go.
Yeah, apple seeds
Go ahead,
out
Oscar.
here.
But I think once we get everything in order, we should head back south. Just keep combing the area.
Keeping an eye out.
We could bring some of those.
We're headed south again, but
Okay, are we off? To the south. Okay, you're riding your horses to the south. It's now mid, kind of like the third week of November. But you are escaping the worst of the cold because you are going south. At this latitude, if you compare where you are, you're on the same latitude as Rohan and northern Gondor. So it's cool. It's getting cool. Even the days are definitely getting a bit chilly. That winter clothing might sound good sometime in the next little while here. But
we've got all sorts of fur gear.
yes, well, sleeping at night with your furs is kind of helping, and then during the day, though, you get a little bit warm from your exertion. But
Sleeping in the furs, giving
Yeah.
some blankets to the horses.
after several days of riding and camping and kind of looking carefully, you see far ahead on the plain another single tree by itself. And beyond it, you see the eastern end of the Ash Mountains of Mordor stretching off to the right. You think you can make the tree by nighttime if you push yourself.
Do we want to go for it?
Tree.
yeah, or
Yeah.
here. We've
Okay,
come this
let's
far.
go for it.
All right.
There's a trail at this point, so we get to, we could just go to Nern and get supplies there.
Yeah.
Is it
Send a
that's it?
messenger to Gondola and then send messengers.
Okay, so
There
you
should be a decent road from Nurn to Gondola.
go forward.
Yes.
As you come closer and closer to the tree, you find, once again, this is an extremely old fruit tree. This time, it's an ancient pear. Any man of Gondor here? No. Okay. A lore roll. Anybody who wants to roll their lore score.
I will roll.
And tell me your number. Starting with Puppy.
14.
Okay. What did you get, Trick?
22.
Okay.
Great success.
24, nothing special.
Okay.
19 great success.
No.
Okay.
13.
Oh, sorry, I
Great
thought
success.
I with my
Okay, so you
reading
got a great
glasses, I saw
success.
Sauron.
Austin got a great success, and you got a great success. I know the number 4. I know
Yeah.
it trips me up all the time. All right, so all of you think that this pear tree, this variety of pear tree, looks very familiar. And you three, you perceive something further. In your travels, because you are well-traveled people, aren't you? This type of pear is common to the valleys of the White Mountains in Gondor. And you've never seen this kind of pear tree anywhere else in Middle Earth. It's really it's
Not
part
even
of
in the valley?
Nope, it's only found along the White Mountains. Along the foothills of the White Mountains, this is where it tends to grow best.
So it's in the colder climate.
It's a variety that's, well, you're in the same area.
Well, yeah, but it's in the mountains, so I was thinking. It was
Not in the mountains, at the foothills of the mountains,
Oh, okay.
at the bottom. But that's, I'm just kind of identifying by region. This is a kind of tree, pear tree, that you've only seen in Gondor before. And you've never seen a fruit tree like this alone. Yeah.
Can I compare one of the pears we have to one that
Yes, you can.
are they similar in any way?
You're going to need to, let's see, that would be riddle.
Riddle?
Okay.
Oh, you got 4 for riddle. Good job.
Curious sort of fellow.
Okay.
Dang, dang, dang.
You got 20 with a excellent.
That'd be your
Sure.
extraordinary success.
What is 3 of them called? Tremendous.
Uh,
Yeah.
You win.
Well, I had 2 threes.
It's an act of God.
I know, but we didn't say what it was called.
it's in the front of the book. You'll have to look it up.
Call it an act of God.
Okay, here we go, guys.
That too.
So
Not
let me go ahead and explain what you notice. So first of all, you compare these two pears, and you realize they are of the same cultivar. Secondly, you don't have any plant lore, do you?
I don't have.
But even though you don't have plant lore, what you've discerned is not only. Oh, sure. Okay, guys, he's found it is the same kind of pear tree. This that matches the one in the end card. Talk about what that means.
So I think they may have just stopped. Like they got too tired on this letting.
Or
That
they
makes
may
sense,
have taken breaks because their ends and so.
The
Or
question
maybe
is-
they were leaving a trail and Chase Weinberg wanted to join them.
Or maybe the
Or the
2
ants
trees.
themselves.
Yeah. What if the 2 trees you've seen are actually 2 ants that went a treeage?
Yeah, they're probably not traditionally they would open up if they were.
But there's usually visible deep differences even if they have one tree-ish.
And
Even if they can't move, you can usually tell the difference.
look at that one is
It's not bad.
Wineberry told us she was the only wife left in the garden.
Yeah.
This pear matches the pear tree in the garden.
Well, what we've seen from ends is when they are all collected together, and I apologize, but when they're all collected together, they all represent their own tree within the area,
Right.
even when they leave. So what I'm thinking is they left the ones they planted for Wildberry because they obviously couldn't transport them with them,
Mm-hmm.
and they've traveled along.
Okay.
Well, some of them
Just
got
one
too
tree-ish?
tired or couldn't make the trip.
Okay.
So they went tree-ish. And I think if we sang to them again, even if it's only trying, we completely fail, they might wake
try
up.
it, but I think it's unlikely.
But at least we can say we tried. Sing them away.
Same with
I mean,
it.
it'll only
Where
take a
we
few minutes.
saw
Who wants to
Very
sing with
awake.
me?
I'll sing with you. I'm not, don't claim to be good at it. But
I am not a great singer.
I'm
so
a,
I don't
I'll just find out, right, okay. I help you find it. Okay. I can do the song.
Because I took pictures, so
You want the
if you
piano part?
Huh?
So you want the woman's part?
Oh, you're
Thank you. Thanks,
I'll
Mark.
sing and do the.
Whatever,
Well,
it doesn't matter.
Hey, sorry about the distraction. What
I think
what
We're
did
trying
you
to
say
sing
on
the
your
trees away.
We're gonna sing the tree.
However
that works. Wow. Can't believe
Hey.
I did that.
I'm going to treat this as a composite roll, not in terms of adding all of everybody's together, but for every success, I need to know how many successes and how many extraordinaries. So we're going to do that on a target number of,
704.
based on the time period that this tree has been here, and how long it's been since it was planted. It's going to be targeted 18.
23 great success.
I'm going to count that as 2. Success
27.
plus 1,
27.
19. No,
19.
no sixes, 19.
Okay. All right. So, as you sing, at first you notice nothing perceptible. And then, about a minute later, the limbs of the tree, just the leaves start to rustle as if there's a wind, but it's dead calm outside. There's no wind, which is kind of rare for the plants, but there's no wind and it's rustling. Next, you start to see the limbs of the tree start to quiver, and finally you hear, as though from under the earth, a tree kind of voice, not entish exactly, from what you heard of Enzetmars, but some kind of deep voice sound, and it's harmonizing with your song.
We are singing and song.
It's responding to you. It's responding to you. What's that?
Aren't there like, they're not quite ants, but they're
We're
kind of
hearing.
horns.
Yeah, you've heard of those things before.
Could this potentially be one if it's not waking
Well,
up?
it certainly seems to be.
They're usually what to eat.
Well,
No,
all
no,
those
no.
ones were corrupted, weren't they? Or is
Yes
Or
and
just
no.
being invaded.
Yes and no. If you have a black Huon, it likes to take. It doesn't. It's not particular. But the ones that Huons that were directed by Treebeard, they actually only killed those who were opposing them. This is player knowledge, not character knowledge. But in the Return of the King, the Battle of Helm's Deep, they actually walked through the Forest of Huorns on their way out. And it was a little nerve-wracking, but they weren't touched at all by the Huorns. Okay, so basically after harmonizing for about a minute, the tree goes silent again.
So the tree definitely knows that song, guys. You guys heard this song before.
Yeah.
At least it confirms something for us.
Much like a dog recognizes the tread of its master outside the door as it comes home.
Good tree. Water the tree. Plant another little pear.
Was that straight from the book?
No, he's never there.
Sounded like a Tolkien book.
Okay, so it's nighttime. Assuming you camp underneath the pear.
Yep. Water it, plant a
Apparently,
little pear.
that's a good camping location.
Oh boy.
But again,
There are some things that just can't be forgiven for, man.
I know, right?
You know, there are things that are unforgivable. and those puns are unforgivable.
Good.
You were just going to go straight.
Well, I'm not repentant.
Yeah.
I didn't know that there was so like.
Oh, now we need to
Only just barely now. Never before.
You know what?
Great and
We didn't
good road.
We didn't think about this when we went to the apple tree. I wonder.
I think it's going to be
Probably all going to be humans.
Yeah, well, the thing is that we're at the last tree. Where are we going to go from here?
Well, no, we can still
Let's
go
go
south.
there.
We can still go
Yeah.
south.
Let's go pick up supplies.
So we're here.
You
so we can
are-
just go down to Nern.
You are right. Here's the pear tree. This is where the apple tree was. Okay, so about here, no, it's not here. Sorry. So this is where the pear. Doesn't matter. Anyway, pear. Thank you. Pear. That's apple. That's the pear here. And then you have to go around the edge there.
Okay. It's a bread
We're
basket.
gonna go there.
It's
We're
very
gonna
big
trade,
producer.
resupply, get ready to head south and figure out what we can find in this area and then.
Well, that's literally the very edge of the map. I mean, I
Well,
don't.
it might
whoa.
be in Nern.
Yeah, we're gonna
It's
be checking in here while we're in here.
Yeah.
As we're working our way out, we're gonna look back through here, and go
Okay.
down and around.
I like it. Our letter of introduction will work in Nern. It is a bread basket. They are known to be, they like cultivated fields, and they're known to be in areas that produce a lot. And this is the only area south of Dorwinian that we have knowledge of in our culture that produces a lot.
And wouldn't it also be a great irony?
It would be great.
After this,
It's a
we
great
can
place
find
to hide from the
branches.
enemy.
We'll probably find a guide in Nern to take us out.
Possible.
Also desert craft.
Okay. The next day, as you continue on, kind of aiming southeasterly towards the edge of the mountains, you start to notice that more single ancient trees dot the landscape about every day or so in a line south-southeast.
We have a trail.
A trail of trees.
Oh, wow. Amazed.
Almost as if they thought that someone might follow. Perhaps it was for Wineberry in case she changed her mind.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, you had wandered off. I said that earlier. Or in case the end.
So where are we at then?
So you are now close to the very edge tip here, but you're noticing now that there's this trail of trees that you're starting to follow, which is going right in the direction that you are going. Going around this edge of mountains.
Is it like this way, or this way?
I'm really smart enough and ballsy enough to hide in friggin' Mordor. They get all the points for that.
Well, I mean, Elflermore was literally right outside Mordor. So,
Okay,
Back door to Mordor.
all right. So you are passing the northern fence of Mordor, which means that you enter into the eastern waste, which was formerly a blighted place under the of Sauron, but now is somewhat gentler and hospitable to sagebrush, grass, and high desert animals such as snakes, scorpions, wild
scare
hares,
of course, once I see a snake.
and wild dogs. Wild dogs smaller than wolves.
Also the occasional apple tree.
And the ash plain of Lithlad and the inland sea of Nurnan is to your west. There is, at this point, there's this road that goes along here and it turns in this direction. So it might be easiest for you to follow the road if you so choose.
That sounds like the idea.
well, how far away from the road are the trees?
Well, one is, here you go. This is the latest map that I can now let you see.
Oh, yeah.
So there's, and you didn't know this, but along the way, some of them are missing because they died or were cut down by armies that went through there in the last few hundred years for wood. So you're kind of basically here, and then the road, let me just do this.
Pretty much follows the
Yeah,
line of
curve right there.
Sweet.
Oh,
That,
man.
that can be completely
That was
coincidental. I wouldn't trust the road to follow the trees much longer.
Well, I don't think they're following each other at all.
Yeah, that's what
They
I
just happen to be crossing
It's
paths.
more expensive to build a road when you're cutting down all the trees.
Yeah.
Well, the road was there long before the trees.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, the road has been there for as long as Easterlings have been willing to fight in Sauron's wars.
Long
Which is a
time.
long time. That's an ancient road.
for the eastern.
Yeah. Yes. Cool. All right. So you notice that these trees that you come across occasionally, these signal trees, every few days you see a pine, a cypress tree, or the stump of a willow, or an olive tree. And right where you have to kind of start thinking about making a decision, and here's the road. Right, here's Nern. But really the road goes down to this spot, and there's a road that goes kind of like this from far away, and it goes around and into Nern. Okay, the east-west road here. This road kind of meets there, and that's where it kind of stops. It's like a T-junction here. There's no road beyond it. But you notice that there's a stream of water flowing into this larger river. It's not big because this is the eastern waste, and it's been full of this sagebrush, and it's pretty dry land. Think Utah or something like that. Give it a taste. But there is, next to the stream, not far from the road, there is a giant olive tree. An old one, several hundred years old. And under this olive tree, you see a man asleep, his legs sprawled out. There's also water here, and you realize that you don't know, you're getting low on water. So.
Yeah. All right, so let's see if we can peaceably approach this man.
Hail! Hail, sir!
Well met, friend.
Where's his
I
father?
walk up to him, his weapons. I leave all but my sword with my horse, and I nudge his boot.
What? What?
Yeah.
What? Who are you? Hey, are you coming to take me to the tower? I've worked hard. Nobody in Nern worked harder than Jin. And he kind of looks around crazily, like
Peace,
I'm
Master
Liston.
Peace.
I'm the body of the north.
he looks at you like as if he was looking past you, and then suddenly his eyes kind of focus again, and he looks up at you and sees you. Oh, I thought you. I'm sorry. I was having a bad dream, and I thought you were orcs.
All is well.
I extend a hand.
Okay. Okay.
How many years have these dreams troubled you?
Oh, since my
that's
childhood.
what
I'm a farmer in Nern. Do you know where that is?
Very near to here, yes.
Yes, we were all slaves for him long ago. I was a boy taken from my parents and sold to work in the fields of South Nern. The Sea of Nurnen gives us plenty of water, and the ash from the smoking mountain made the soil fertile there. It was horrible. We quotas. Cut the wheat, they said. With what blade? Ours have rusted. With your hands or teeth, or else you're meat for the pot, man flesh. And then they laugh, that horrible chuckling sound. Oh.
You're free now. You're free now, though. That's what matters.
But then everything changed when I was a lad of 10. Suddenly all our foremen ran away. No one to force us to work the land, because now the king says that it's our land. Did you hear that? Our land to work and make better, to feed our families, and not his armies. And sometimes I feel like I'll wake up one day and we'll all be slaves again. It seems almost too good to be true. You'll take me back and chain me up. You're here to take me to the Black Tower to Baradur. And he kind of cringes for a moment and then kind of shakes himself
We're
out of
not
it.
Easterlings, my man.
Forgive me. I'm so sorry. It comes on me at times. I will be all right. I must return to my fields west of here. I come to this old olive tree sometimes to think there are these trees. I know not where they come from, but they've been here as long as my people remember. And there's some to the north, and there's a few trees to the south from here as well. This is the last stream.
Do they move west or east at all? Do you know?
These trees, no, they've always been here as far as I know.
But there are none towards
There are
your
none
farm.
Oh,
Where
no,
we
not where
are.
we are. All fields. No trees.
Okay.
No trees there. Just a few to the north that I know of. I don't go very far. And I think
Do they
there's a
continue
few.
to the south?
Yes, I've seen one or two. I'm not brave enough to go much further.
Keep talking.
I've heard that there's a great desert that way. But I am not brave enough to venture there.
Would your
What
people
time? Sorry, go.
would your people accept trade to resupply, or have any knowledge of how to safely traverse the desert?
No, we don't trade with strangers. It's bad for us. We stay to ourselves.
All right.
We stay to, but this water is good. If you fill up here, it will last you for many days. But as I look at your animals, you may not be able to take your animals will need much water. But you can take them as far as you can. Maybe you will find something more down there. Although why you would want to go to that, it's just the desert of Kant.
We seek those who planted trees.
Tree planters.
We think it was an ancient road.
I don't know, but there is an oak some miles south of here. You can see if that helps you. And from that oak, I have not walked any further. I can only just see a tree on the horizon. Sorry.
From that oak, a mighty acorn grew.
I'm sorry, does he look starved still anywhere? Does
No.
he seem a little bit better off?
PTSD.
We're
Yeah.
sorry.
He's well. He's well fed.
We're sorry we troubled you, sir. But we are just
No,
on a quest
I
to
assumed
find
so. I didn't know if he was
the planters
a poor
of the trees.
stature.
Yes, maybe these planters went to the south. They have not come to our land. We have no stories of any strange planters who plant trees. There are no trees in Nurn. If there were, they have long ago been cut down by the orcs. Only fields. But now they are ours. They are our fields. We feed ourselves. But we keep to ourselves. We are not. We do not hate strangers, but we are not offended strangers either. We leave each other
All your
alone.
friends to people from the kings.
Yes, we are friends to people of the king, but
People.
we do not wish to be involved in your affairs.
What time of day is it roughly? Like
It is-
midday?
It is right now. Sorry. Right now it is. It's about late morning. A bit of time, yeah.
A little bit of time.
I think
Okay,
we should.
cool.
I think we should water here.
Yeah.
Oh, we're definitely
Hey, while-
watering. All the water.
Yeah, while we're watering, I'm going to turn to him.
Yes, please.
Would you like, since
Oh,
while we're
that's correct.
responding, would you
Please-
like
please do
any
so.
food? We have some excess.
That would be most kind of you. You are strangers, and yet you give gifts to me. And I don't understand that.
How about a juicy pear?
Yeah,
Pears?
I moved to offer him a
What is a
couple
pear?
fruit.
Is a fruit, a yellow fruit.
I've seen the olives grow from this tree, but that's all I know.
I think it'd be, I think it'd just be best to show
He
him.
looks at the apple and is like,
It's called an apple.
does it grow from the bush?
It grows from a tree.
And he takes it and smells it, feels it. This is too rich a treasure to waste on a man like me, only a fourth. I'm
Take
only,
it in friendship,
You're
as
just
you have
so-
shared the information that we so
I will take
appreciate.
this back to my family and we will all share. Thank you. Thank you so
The
much.
seeds at the
I need
center, if you plant them, it will take many, many years, but they will one day produce fruits of that
Yes.
nature for yourself.
Oh, thank you for that idea. That is an excellent idea. I will plant it.
I hold out a small handful of what I mean.
Oh, thank you. And he gets out a bag and puts that in there and kind of bows it to you all. Fair strangers, thank you for your help.
Space them well apart and water them well.
Yes. I will tell you one more thing that may be of help. I've never been to the south, but I have heard. If you meet nomads, do not trust them. Do not trust them. Though they may be friendly to you, I have heard stories. I have not myself been there. We from Nuren, we are bad at trusting strangers. So we fear all. But you are good. You are good strangers. But be careful. Be careful.
Thank you, friend.
Yes, of course.
Safe service.
Thank you. And then he scampers off.
So I'm going to set to turning our leather into carved leather.
Water carrying.
Water you change it. That was the reason we crafted that.
We
for
already
the-
tried that. Remember, it took 4 days. To,
No,
How do we make?
That was just
Made
a tan hide.
Yeah.
Oh,
Make
okay.
leather. Now we are going to try to attempt to put the
Oh,
leather
okay.
into
Okay,
the water.
I'm just
stand.
thinking another 4 days.
Now, should we do 2 or 1?
Why don't we do
two
one?
is gonna go big.
2.
Carry your water in different
Well,
baskets.
if we have to do 2 because we split it into 2.
But you can put it together.
Yeah, you can stitch it together.
Okay.
I thought we just do one huge one.
Two mediumly
You can
large.
go either way.
Two
That
ones, then
way
Who's
somebody
gonna carry it?
punctures or fails to crash and still gonna
One horse. Or you split it up into
split it into 2.
That's a horse. That's a horse.
big water skins. Okay.
Big ones.
All right, 2 big water skins made from deer hide.
We should have said the same time, but we did not.
Cannonball.
Success.
All right.
Oh no!
Excellent. All right, so you make it. You fill up. Your horses all fill up.
Love the baby.
All right. You taking your pack pony as well?
Yes.
All right.
Well, these
If
guys
you're
were
riding
talking.
on
I
with
was.
your pack pony behind. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm riding the pack.
All right. So you have
She's efficient.
4 horses and 2
Seriously.
ponies.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And each of the
We'll
ponies has
shiver
a
our
lot
way
of
back
gas.
to Gondor and stay out the rest of the
So
winter.
how long?
It's an
The
actual-
thing is that okay, the horses are going to be watered, and you said that they have a little deal that they take with them. Sometimes a little water thing that carries water for the horses.
Yeah, each one has it.
Yeah, they all
Like,
each has
right,
couple
okay,
days of
so-
water.
a couple days.
Yeah.
So we've
so-
got now 2 stocks, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You seem to be prepared. And it's getting warmer as you're getting south.
We are no longer wearing the furs. Those
Yeah.
are back in the pack.
You're kind of it feels more temperate.
Yeah.
Not as hot as it could be, but not as cold as it could be.
If we run into any tribes in romance, let's tell them we're just traders. We've got the furs to prove it.
All right. In the interest
We
of
do have sufficient furs.
it's 9:20, so I'm going to move us forward unless you have anything else you want to do. Okay.
Just as we're going on, we cross compare moss and everything.
Yeah, nice. Way to go. Spoken like a friend of the Anwars.
I have to.
If we run into any form of plant life, I'm cross comparing everything
Yes,
we have.
yes, yes,
I'm
yes.
glad we taught him how to plant this tree. That was cool.
As John Denver once sang, plant a tree for your tomorrow. Plant a tree. Okay. All right, so
Well,
the Fellowship moves south from this stream, and after another day, sure enough, true to the man of Nuren's word, there is a giant oak tree. It's definitely a dry land. You're going from sagebrushy kind of high desert to rocky arid land, but this oak tree seems like it was planted and its roots go deep, and it's kind of a desert oak, and it's able to survive. It's massive. This big round, low branches.
Do we want to see?
Yes.
I think it would be a good thing.
Or is it just going to waste time?
I would say probably be the interest time we should just keep moving.
Okay. We sang it. Tree. We
You came, you saw, you sang, you conquered. Okay. All right. So the Fellowship, if I may so say, the Fellowship begins to trek through the edge of the eastern waste and down now past into the. Oh, sorry. I should have included this. This was the next one and showing where you've been.
Cool.
I couldn't show it to you earlier.
That's fair.
All right.
Mordor Gone Road. Gosh, there's a road down there.
Okay, so you notice there continue to be further trees. A fig tree next. A cypress tree the next day.
In the middle of the desolate.
Yep. It's not sand dune. There's small scrubby plants and such. Whoever planted this though must have been
Big
able
trees.
to plant it in such a way that it could thrive. So it,
And it's
beyond the,
probably more like the desert sort of trees rather than the
Yeah.
ones that require a lot more.
right, but still, certainly it had a good beginning. A cypress tree, an olive tree, a thorn tree. Water is getting scarce. And tragically, several days later, as you're making your way through, the rocky land, and you see ahead of you sand dunes rising. There is a large rock, and what seems to be at first a tree next to the rock is actually the withered remains of an antwife sitting on a large rock. Her arms reach out to the south, frozen in a mute appeal to the sun. And because of this tragic sight, this is a source of anguish to you, as you've been caring a lot about the antwives. And they mean a lot more to you than they did at the beginning when you left Reed. So as this is a natural tragic event, everyone has to make a test, otherwise they gain 1 shadow point. This is a corruption test, which will be a feat die plus the number of wisdom. Wisdom is the number of 6-sided dice you get to roll. Okay, take the feat die.
For wisdom.
Wisdom is 3, so 3 6-sided dice plus your feat die.
Oh, it's 3. 3, 3, 3. Okay. Sorry, it looks like a 13 when I heard something wrong. That doesn't seem right.
So,
Get
anybody
a
not get to a 14? Anybody below a 14?
9, 10, 11. No, I made it 16.
So, though this was very distressing for you to see, and it's tragic, it's sad. It fills you with sorrow and grief that this wife didn't make it, whoever she was. But none of you gets a shadow.
Okay. Can I identify what kind of tree she
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cockroach.
It was a willow.
The willow.
Which makes sense that she would die first.
They are very water-loving plants, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I just feel as my character wants to bury it, but I know that we don't have the time nor the
So
stash.
she's just too big.
Yes, indeed.
A
And
teeny
I
tiny
don't-
small offering of water in remembrance.
Okay.
And I also don't use any endpoint bears, so that's to just leave for nature.
Okay. All right. So you are entering from the rocky kind of desert into, there's no more roads here, and it's entering into more sand. It's
Our
much more
horses are
sandy.
not happy with us.
Yeah, your horses are managing, but you're trying to find places to walk out of the wind. Thankfully, there's no sandstorms right now. So finding a good place to camp means out of the wind, and so you camp, set watch, etc. Thankfully, again, no enemies that you have to face. But you are traveling due south, and it's getting harder and harder to see any trees. You pass several stumps of what used to be a tree that was planted here as a sign, but they seem to all have withered under such an unforgiving climate, even with the help of the antwives planting over the last 300 years. It's just not managed to survive. These are just trees that they planted as a sign of where they went. But at least the tree stumps still give you an idea of which direction they went. After several more days in the dunes heading due south, you are beginning to get low on water. This is about 2 weeks that you've been traveling through the desert of Kand. Partly because your horses are drinking a lot. It's hot work. You're trying to be careful, but they are carrying a lot. And so unless you start to get rid of some of the stuff that the horses are carrying, they're going to continue to consume a lot of water. So unless you can find another water source, you probably have about 4 or 5 more days worth of water for everyone and the horses.
Which means we're in panic mode.
Well, we couldn't abandon the horses.
The ground we cover, the additional ground we cover because of horses, is that going to equal the difference in water?
Horses probably drink 2 to 3 times
Right
a day,
now-
but we drink at least.
Right now,
Oh, yeah.
the desert isn't exactly the
But if
best
we
way
travel
to
more than that, the distance that we travel can't.
Or we can float up here.
Everybody roll their awareness, and before you ask me anything else, if you can just let me know what you got.
Extraordinary success.
I got a Gandalf room.
Oh, wow.
And look
Oh, did you just get Gandalf room as well?
Yeah, I did. 8 in a Gandalf room.
3 Gandalf rooms.
I got 8 in the Gandalf room.
That's okay.
I'm a good
22 with a great success.
Okay, all right. Well, the dumb ending's feeling very far from home, and it's just that midwife. It didn't give you shadow point, but you're just feeling like this is not where I belong. This is about as far away from Dublin as you can get. This is really depressing.
I feel like I'm never coming into the sand again.
I know. Okay, so that chest of silver better be worth it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, for the rest of you though, you perceive that, and it's hard because the heat shimmers during the day, right? But you perceive that there's some object to the south. Several hours away, it's hard to tell the distances, but the heat is shimmering. You're seeing something above the horizon that might be a tree.
even with extraordinary success. I got
Keep moving the dice.
Stinking.
You got 2 6s.
Stinking jaws.
I don't memorize what you told me. 2 6s? And what was
And
the
Gandalf
total
room,
number?
did you get?
And again,
Yeah.
okay.
Slightly crazed in the head.
You look carefully and squint your eyes, and you can just make out that there is indeed a tree, but it is hard to tell if it is alive or dead, but it's definitely a tree.
We'll let this ride to the next dragon, and then we should make the decision. It's not too much fun.
Agreed.
Yes. We'll head towards
Who
the tree on
was
the
the other one who had a high score? Is that you? Or you?
I did not have a Gandalf room, but I had a 22 with a great success.
Okay. And you had Gandalf?
Yes.
Okay.
And I have a Gandalf room.
You okay? So you had a great success. Okay. All right. So I know. So here's the deal. You sense that there must be water nearby, but you're not sure where. This is part of your ranger thing, and it might be underground. You don't know. Some water somewhere.
Did I listen for it?
Hey, might have thought. Meanwhile, you guys are like, oh, the water is, we're really hot. So maybe you're just being delirious. At this point, your minds are starting to play tricks on you. You two do think you hear the sound of bells jingling. What? Yeah. Bells jingling far away. Bells jingling. Small bells. Like on a harness.
I say nomads that we should not trust.
Oh boy. I don't know.
And over the hill of the sand dunes, sure enough, comes a caravan of camels with a number of people leading them. They don't seem to be posing any particular threat. They're just leading their camels on the way. Just kind of plodding along, happening to be nearby where you guys are going.
The direction of that tree by any chance?
Nope, they're not going towards the tree. They're going perpendicular to the way you're going. So you're going south. They're going from west east. They're basically, well, you can't see it there, but they're going towards the towards the east. Okay. There's a man who's swathed in white fabric, and he says, "Shade and sweet water, my friends. Are you lost? We are a caravan bound for the city of Kand, to the northeast of here. We are merchants. Come, let us share bread together. We have plenty of water if you wish. You can share some."
Many thanks, my friend.
We are indeed also merchants.
Are you? Excellent. Excellent. We bring gifts and things to sell from Harad, and we take it to Kand. Through the desert. It's very difficult, no doubt.
Yeah,
You're very brave to come this far.
we have a number
We're
of
accepting
please,
new
unload
tree
some
roots to see
water.
if there's any market for what we have to sell.
Water their horses and ponies, quick. They are in need of water, please. Okay. You know, they stretch out some blankets,
Because they're
pop
smart
up
enough
this
to know
tent,
what the hell to do.
and yeah, they erect a little tent there with some shade,
I'm very skeptical.
and they've got some bowls of water, basins that you poured out, and so that ponies and horses can drink.
Thank you for the gift of water. It's most generous.
Yes, absolutely. Here, please have some water. So yes, what kinds of things do you sell? Are you looking for something we can maybe sell you?
We brought a couple of things to
We have
trade.
spices. Are you interested in spices?
Perhaps. We're exploring new markets.
We specialize in cooking spices.
We brought a small section of goods. It's brought a small selection of goods to see if there's any market for them in the south.
Well,
Things that are not readily available in the
it has to be exotic, you know. We have down here so many things, but what we don't have is furs.
That's precisely
we need furs.
what
You know about furs. You have some furs. You sell them?
Come with me.
Please, I would like to see. Yes.
So take him to the horses that are laden with furs.
Many fine wool
Begin
pelts,
The
to
wolf
kind
pelts.
of drink them
Finally,
out across the back.
some finely crafted bunny fuzz mittens.
What are these mittens you speak of? Why would people wear these on their hands?
Well, you see, up north it gets so cold that one's fingertips can freeze off.
You are a good storyteller. I like you. But really, do you think you could take me for a fool? No, here we do not think such things. We would gladly trade you, and then he shows you on one of their camels. He has like this cabinet. It's kind of like a camel cabinet. It reaches to both sides. He flips up a blanket, and he shows you, opens it up, and it's like a traveling spice cabinet with about 80 different kinds of glass jars with various types of labels, some of which you recognize, some of which seem very exotic and different. But they're all various kinds of spices.
Does he have
Straight up.
salt and ginger?
Of course.
Finest one that has. Or maybe
Yeah.
the second.
So could we make a trade, perhaps some spices for your furs?
Well, for your generosity, we'd like to offer you this fur as a gift to begin with.
The first
That's
one.
very nice of you. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. So he accepts one of those, okay? Can I buy the rest of yours? We can sell perhaps one side of my camel's spices for, so, maybe?
Perhaps we're also in need of better desert gear, clearly.
I see. Yes, that is a trouble. Well, I could arrange that. Perhaps we can trade 4 of your wolf skins for 20 spices and desert gear for you.
That sounds fair.
I have some white cloth here. It will help you to stay cooler. He brings out several different sizes and whatnot. I have one that fits my child. That's about your size.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. Please. So, do we have a deal? Yeah.
Yes.
Sounds
Okay,
fair.
please. Okay. Here are spices. He unloading them to whoever takes them, and then the white cloth and all that, and then he takes his wolf fur, he strokes it, packs it away, gives you some food, because it's a whole hospitality thing. Drink a little tea, have a little food, and then they're like, "Oh, we need to
If
get
he's got
going."
water for brewing of tea, we could also show, or I know Ferris at least travels with some tea songs that would probably be very foreign to him.
Yes.
Just as in the interest of sharing hospitality, maybe brew up something he's not had before or something.
Well, that's very kind of you, but we must be getting to the city of Khan. Yes. Yeah. At night, the scorpions start to come out. We need to get going. So, blessings on you, my friends.
Blessings.
Collapses the tent, and within 15 minutes, it's all stowed up, and their caravan is on their way to the east.
We had enough water for us.
Yeah.
Well, we can still
You
see
have,
the
you have,
tree.
they were at a chance to drink and everything. They didn't give you any water
No.
to store.
But the horses went from parched and needing to drain
Yes.
our
Can we
supplies
still see
to.
this tree?
I didn't know.
Yes, you can. You can still see the tree. Those of you who have the keenest eyesight.
What is spoke to the tree then?
Straight
Okay.
shade.
Travel to the tree. All right. So you make your way to the south. It's still blisteringly hot, but it hurts almost. But you feel much refreshed from the food and water. You feel
And
better.
that's how we know the tree is real, is because we had drink and water,
And
And you
it's
still see it.
and we still see it.
Very good. Very perceptive. You can add an experience point for that
Oh,
perception.
thank you.
Okay, so here's the thing. you're traveling on, and the tree is there, but it's not as close as it looks. Okay? It's a little bit deceptive because of the distances and the shimmering of the heat over it. So you can tell that there is a tree, but the mirage is not that there is a tree when there isn't one, but that the tree seems closer when there isn't. So as you're traveling for several hours, it still seems to be further away. Finally, as it's almost sunset, and you're feeling like you're about to drop in the sand. You're so hot, you're so tired, and that water and food from several hours ago seems so long ago. You're just so tired, and you finally make it to a huge, scrubby desert tree. It's ugly, but it's alive, and it's a really big tree.
Hi, tree friend.
And it must have really deep roots to be able to survive out here. And so you're able to sit under its branches for shade from the last hour or so of sunlight.
You know, friends, I'm kind of ashamed that I didn't think of this sooner, but since they seem to be in a predictable pattern and direction, we should maybe do at least a good chunk of our traveling at night when we're not battling 1,000-degree weather.
The concern is there might be scorpions, as they said, and snakes.
Well, not only that, but sleeping during the day is very dangerous sometimes when they do.
Keep a watch, but
You need a shade to sleep.
Okay. Each of you roll a travel. This is we can do this before, but it's fatigue. You've been going through the hot desert, and you make a fatigue test.
Wait, are we doing a travel roll?
Travel roll.
I have a note here that says target number -5 for travel.
Okay.
I don't know what it means, but
I have no idea what that means either. It's probably from. I don't think that applies.
1622 with a grade.
That's just enough.
Just enough?
19 with an extraordinary success.
Not right.
33 with an extraordinary success.
what do I need?
22.
Oh, I just barely made it.
33 with an extraordinary success.
I'm going to use it.
Also, 2 and 4 is extraordinary. They don't have any other words for more than 2. I found it.
Totally tubular. Yes.
19.
25. Okay, that's enough. 22?
Traveling is one of my special traits.
24.
Yeah. Okay.
Usable.
So after spending a whole point, you're able to make 22. Okay. Yeah, you're wiped out, but you don't become weary as long as you can rest tonight in the tree. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But you are very tired. All right. So you watch for scorpions, of course, but before
We seem
you
to our
lay
tree
down.
friend.
Yeah, and the tree friend seems to offer some protection. As the stars come out, you realize that you don't recognize half of them anymore. These are strange. There's new and bright stars here that you've never seen before. And as you watch the order of them process across the sky, you gently fall asleep. Who is the first one? Is Poppy?
Poppy is usually the first, but she is exhausted and asks
I'll take first watch.
if someone else will take my watch.
I feel this watches. I'm happy to pick up because of that.
Thank you.
Roll awareness, whoever it is. This is my first one. Roll awareness.
Oh, it's a 5.
He
It
falls
would be
asleep.
extraordinary, too.
Falls asleep.
So should I think I'm...
No. It's still while he's asleep. I haven't finished this time.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Would you be the next one? Is that what's going to happen?
No.
You'd be the next one, Rostor. Okay.
Hmm?
So he was going to be waking you up, and then you.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You are woken groggily out of sleep by the sound of horses neighing. Roll your awareness.
Yeah, oh my God.
Okay. 12, 16, 20, 21 with an extraordinary success.
Oh, wow. You suddenly come out of a very deep sleep when you discover to your horror that the horses which were tethered aren't there anymore.
Oh,
Damn it.
Oh, we're gonna die in
Nomads.
the desert, man.
Nomads.
We're gonna die in the
Horses.
desert.
What do you do?
I'm gonna go. First, I'm gonna shout to wake the others.
Okay, that's
Okay.
effective.
Are they within sight?
Yeah, and then I'm gonna check for tracks and if they're within sight.
The whinnying you hear is from a little bit of a distance away. You cannot see them, but it's to the north. It's to the north.
Damn nomads.
So everybody's woken up now. It's kind
All
of just,
here on that.
but everybody's just very slow to wake up, very groggy, very. There may have even been something in the water that you drank. You can't tell, but you're tired too.
Do I wake
All
up?
these
Make
things.
shouts?
What's that?
Do I wake up? Make shouts?
Yeah, everybody wakes up and shouts. You're like, what's going on? And when he tells you that the horses are gone, you all start to freak out a little bit.
Right.
Because who wants to be stranded halfway across Middle-earth with no horses?
Right. Right.
In the desert, no less.
So are we chasing these guys? I vote we chase these guys.
What choice
Yes.
do we have?
Roll athletics.
Athletics.
Oh, they don't, I don't know, man.
One time I sounded on
Gandalf room.
Oh, wow, that
I
actually
need
turned
that.
out better than I thought.
Oh, dear Lord, I did it again.
11.
Oh, man.
18, 19, or 19.
I'm impressed.
I got the luck in this system.
Okay,
Wow.
anybody beat 31?
No, but I got 3 sixes.
31?
Gandalf rune and a great success.
Oh, are
Okay.
you talking about that?
So here's the thing. So you two then are able to start catching up, but these horses are being ridden away,
Yeah, nice.
and so the only reason why you're able to catch up is because of the pack horses, the ponies, I should say. So it's actually sometimes it's an advantage. The rest of you cannot keep up with it.
I run on the draw.
You can try. Let's you two make another roll of athletics, and I'm going to lower the target because you're closer now.
Oh,
Soranai.
oh, man.
I go tumbling down a dune.
Dang.
Soranai.
6 for 10.
10. Sorry.
I expected
They're
that.
too far gone. Yeah, they're getting away.
Oh, my goodness.
We know where they're headed.
So who are we eating first?
Well, since you elected yourself so beautifully,
What you mean who we're drinking first?
That is the concern.
Okay. So do you kind of recon back in the tree here?
yeah.
We wait, they keep charging.
Yeah,
I
my-
told you not to trust them.
They-
We were
did.
warned.
We were also
Well,
dying
yeah,
of
but
thirst.
anyways, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was hard. You were up against seasoned desert bandits.
This just became a
All
campaign.
right.
Are they tasty?
Searching for them would be fruitless.
Well, we can always
The
bring it to the
adventurers
pond.
now find themselves in the middle of a sandy desert and have lost their sense of where they are, as no more trees, except for this last tree, have been seen for several days. You have, at the maximum, 3 days water left. You could travel at night if you want to try, if you want to. It might help a little bit longer.
Problem is, I don't think there's water in. You know what? Can I listen?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna do my rumor of the earth.
Okay.
I might end up hearing the horses as they run away, but I'm hoping to find water.
Okay.
That's what I'm wanting to
Still
hear, is
right?
that underground
Still
river.
right.
Still over.
We're on there.
Is it only a night that you do that?
Yeah, it's only
That's
at night.
cool, man.
So, that's why I'm very particular on you.
30 with an extraordinary success.
Wow. Okay, I'll tell you who's going what it is.
Okay. 5, 6. Wow. Yeah, I know.
Wow. Okay, well, here's the good news. When she listens for water, she senses that it's running underground.
Right.
There is a river underground. But it's not close enough to be able to get to, but it's running south. somewhere.
Would I need to have enough of a sense to be able to follow the river, even if we can't dig down and reach it, but we can
Yes.
follow it?
Yes.
Is it possible we could take the sucker from the tree?
You can try.
Take what?
Try to get water from the tree.
Yeah, I mean,
What
there's.
type of tree was it?
It's a scrubby desert tree. It's got
Okay.
pods on it. You
Mine
can
has
try to
some.
squeeze the pod.
Okay, try that. Is there
But it's
any,
a
I
quail,
don't
you
know that these trees would be that way, or cactus, but
Cactus
a
works.
tap.
Yeah, not really. No.
We don't have
It'll probably kill the tree.
Sequoia.
what tools we have. We don't have any
No,
drugs.
and we don't, and we honestly, we don't
If
have
she
enough.
hears
Doesn't
water
matter.
underneath, might be your best hope.
Follow the water.
Following the water,
All right.
If we can do that, yeah.
our only saving grace is that we usually take the packs off the horses at night.
All right. So let's move on. We're getting to the end point.
Yeah, we're kind of dead.
So you continue on
It's the middle of the night, we keep going
that
down.
night. Yes, you are so tired, but you follow along the rumor of water under the earth, and just as the sun is rising over a scorching desert in the east, you start, each of you, to feel delirious. Roll for athletics to keep going on. Just put one foot in front of the other.
So I want to create some party for that. Affect
Do you remind me what fellowship points do?
Extra hope points if you run out.
So I.
Well, that didn't go well.
You drop out of heat exhaustion.
No.
I've got an 8, so that's it.
You drop out of heat exhaustion.
28 with an extraordinary success.
You're doing great.
17.
You are not unconscious, but you need to sit down. You're feeling faint.
18 is a great success.
You're fighting it, but you're able to keep plodding. It's hard though. You don't know how much longer you can go on. And what do you do with these two guys? They just dropped, and then one of you is sitting down.
We do pause for at least a moment.
Thanks for pausing.
We can rest, or we can go and see if we can find water and bring it back.
I say, yeah, take what of our water you can, go out, try and find something and come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll leave markers if we can, so that if you feel up to it, you can continue on down the track.
So you're leaving some water with them, are you?
I'm not taking all of their water.
Okay.
No, it's not there.
It's just enough.
Yeah, maybe an extra container for each of us, so that we have empties to
You have
bring back.
basically 1 day's water left.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You okay, Drake?
Yeah.
All right. So you carry on as far as you dare go, and still see no sign of water. You double back to check on them. They're still out, and he is now fallen unconscious from heat exhaustion. And you were with her, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they're still alive, but
Not for
they're
much
not in
longer.
good shape. They're not in good shape. So, best thing you can do at night is to just keep watch, keep the scorpions away.
I want to make a depression in the sand
Okay.
with some of the leather and see if we can collect any
Ooh,
kind of dew.
Okay, that's a great idea. Give yourself an experience point there. All right. In the morning, well, actually no, I'm going too fast. That's a great idea. You can, during the night, you're looking at the stars and just thinking, oh, these stars are telling the story about hope. And yet here we are in a desert with so little hope. But we came because of hope. We hoped that we could find the Everland, and we hoped that we could do a good thing. We hoped that we'd find adventure in this age when so many good things have happened because of hope. Even our king's, one of his names is Estelle, means hope. So you hope. That's all you can do. And it almost seems to the two of you, the Ranger and the Hobbit, that it's almost like a dream, but underneath you and underneath your comrades who are all asleep, these strong, slender, treeish arms pick you up and lift you. And like a dream, you feel disoriented, as if you're floating swiftly over the desert floor, being carried through the night. It just seems unreal. The next thing you know is that all of you wake up inside a cave with water running out of the wall into a wide stone basin. You are all lying on long stone slabs about 14 feet long.
That's deadly.
There are stairs in front of you that lead up into sunlight, but it's cool here in the cave.
We are all severely sunburned.
Yeah, you're not looking great.
We must be delirious.
I feel like this
Heat
is
surface, not your friend.
crazy.
What do? You all wake up at the same time. And
I'm
look around
going
at each other
to-
like,
Right. I'm going to explore.
What's my weapon?
Do I pinch him to make sure I'm not having a dream?
There's water here, right?
No,
Oh, yeah.
pinch.
No,
I
we
said
drink
pinch.
our fill.
No, I put my head in the water, see if I wake myself up.
you're still there. And you feel very awake.
Okay.
And
I start praying to
you feel like you've slept for like a day.
Yeah, I said I pinch you to see if you're awake.
She and I reach over and pinch each other.
Ow! That hurts.
I get water and then I want to go up the stairs and see what's going on.
Okay.
Me too. I'm going
All
for
right, you
water
guys,
first.
what's going on here? So you're gonna drink. It tastes so good.
This
It
is the best water
reminds you
we've
of
had.
The best water you've ever had. Next time you drink some water, you can think about that. And
This
you
is
think,
not inch water. I will not drink this.
it tastes similar to the spring.
The best part about this is we are probably trapped here for eternity.
You walk upstairs and find that you are on the siding of an oasis with an amazing variety of trees, gardens, flowers, and even small storage sheds made from desert rock and desert driftwood containing stone jars with seeds. All of this growing things, all of this surrounds a small lake, which looks like
Hey guys, I think we found the egg garden.
Or they found us.
They definitely found us.
I don't think we found anything.
which looks like this.
I am seeing. Does it say singing grove or singing grave?
Grove.
Oh, good. I'm like,
So you see a small lake, and you're like, I'm awake. This seems like a dream. But you see no one in sight. But you feel like this is a place where you could rest and be refreshed. And you feel that you have had a very close brush with death.
Yeah.
You get
You do.
relaxed.
Oh yeah. It feels so good. He jumps in. Woo-hoo-hoo! Splash.
So we have water here.
I politely take a sponge bath instead of contaminating the water source.
I
See,
wash
you're
off.
both doing it wrong.
See, and I'm
I'm
looking
gonna
around and
gently
so
lay in the bank and just let the wave. Is there any kind of
Laps
like
upon
yeah.
you. Yeah. Just the waves kind of just, because of course he made such big waves now, it's just like rolling upon the beach.
I wring out my shirt, do a backflip, and put it over
all
my
y'all are
face.
swimming. I look around. I'm like, there's grass over here. There seems to be trees that way.
You notice, by the way, that it's been probably a day that you've been here because now it's almost sunset. Yeah,
Okay.
you've been sleeping a long time.
We were really sick.
The stars start to come out as dusk deepens. You feel refreshed. And you feel very awake. You feel like very, very awake. Most
Just
awake you
sleeping
felt for a long
tonight.
time.
Okay, let's go talk to
The
these trees.
moon rises behind you as you hear large splashing sounds in front of you. Something really big is walking through the water, and you can just see the silhouettes of trees moving dimly on the other end of the lake. You see the cave is here, and this is down over here, faint silhouettes. The moon is rising here, and it's starting to cast it. And you can just see because of the moonlight, so that one of these shapes walks towards the shore and towards you. As this giant sheep walks closer, closer, long space here, you think you see in the moonlight, it looks like she's a birch tree.
I start walking along the shore to approach her as well because otherwise it might take most of the evening.
Well, they can carry some pretty distinct
Yeah.
to the ground, about 7 feet per stride.
Right. I cry out in Elvish,
You're dripping.
and I say,
What do you say in Elvish?
I say the name
Bethel?
Finbrethel.
She stops when she hears your name and kind of cocks her head, and then walks again closer to you all. As she walks up towards you and then stays by the side of the lake, she says in Westron,
Polite tree. We appreciate that.
she introduces herself as Finbrethel, or slender birch in your language. She speaks hesitantly because it's been a long time since she's been speaking Westron. You not only hear words from her, but you have the feels. You sense from her a deep sense of compassion and knowing the lengths that you all have come for them. And how grateful that she is. Finbrethel is my name. You all have come from Father, and we thank you. As she speaks, you notice that the other tree silhouettes are walking out of the lake and away. She says, I am the oldest of the Entwise. We carried you from the place where you were because we preserve life. I must preserve the lives of my sisters, and our place here must remain a secret, but we would not trap you here. We would not keep you. You have homes. You have gardens where you belong.
Do you not know that Fangor has sent us to you?
Fangorn. Tell him, I'll come, like in the song, but not now. I cannot tell you all I would say to give to him, because I would speak in Old Entish, and you do not have the time. And you can't speak Old Entish or hasty things. But please give him a message from me. I will come, like in the summer, in the winter, to the west. But we have at last become safe from war for many hundreds of years here. Always the Entwives plant and grow and bless others. Always we have been chased away and persecuted, not finding a place of peace, but finding these oases, this one and others that we take care of. Secrets, jewels in the desert, unreachable save to few, most do not survive. It is a hard land. We will not return north. We will stay for a time until another Entmoot, and then we will choose. How are things in the world of Middle-earth?
The enemy
Is
has
Sauron
been
still?
defeated.
Is this peaceful for us?
He's been defeated.
40 years past as men counted.
King Elisar has
There was a
ruled the
king,
men.
a king in the world of men. Such has not happened since the days of the Brown Lands when we were first made to leave. There is hope yet. I do not know if it is for us, but for men and women there is hope. We must stay here for the time.
Do you remember the way to the Misty Mountains, Willie?
It is far, but a week's journey to the south from here will lead you to a road that leads west to Harand and the port of Umbar, where you may find ships to take you home. I offer you 2 parting gifts for the long journey you have made to find us, and you have found us, but you cannot bring us back. First, a box with a special apple seed, and she hands this down to Noel. And a special apple seed to plant at a crossroads of Middle-earth, a place where roads meet, where there might be a remembrance of us in this tree. And I give you another gift. My sisters and I will give you the song of Ivana and the golden tree. In your dreams, you will hear of sun and earth and water, and these parts together in the song that you learn can be then sung back in your lands, and you can bring a blessing there where the Entwives cannot travel. We stay until the final day, until we feel right. Yes. I am sorry we cannot come with you. She waves a mournful farewell to them. As the sun rises over her shoulders, you realize that it's taken all night for her to speak with you, but yet the time seems like it's gone by in a moment. It's a strange sense of time when you're around the Entwives. It's daytime again. You have a lake full of water in front of you. You're on foot. She left. She walked away as the sun rose. You sense that to follow her would not be appropriate. But you do have in front of you a lot of water, and although you will no longer have horses, she's told you that a week's journey to the south there is a road where you may find habitations of men.
Do we have enough water skins to carry a week's worth of water?
Well, I strained the water in the clothes that we got from the nomads.
There you go.
Because somebody has befouled it.
What?
No.
Hey, there's a lot of dirt on him, okay?
What if we boiled it? Yeah.
Okay, so however you do it, you have enough water skins on you.
I missed the giant homemade ones when they sold
I
us.
know, yeah. No more of that. You have 2 water skins per person that are still with you that are enough to get you far. Okay? So I'm trusting the travel. The PCs are able to find habitations in and near Harad. You travel to the road. They were able to help you purchase horses to ride many miles to the great city of Umbar on the coast, which is now under Gondor's rule. There, at the port, you find a corsair ship, formerly a pirate, but now an ex-pirate, who's able to carry you to the Grey Havens, which would be the closest port to Rome. And so you get on board, thankful that you survived the desert experience. You recall that Finbrethel warned you to tell no one where the Entwives are exactly, although Ents may be told. And you have persistent dreams while the heroes are still sailing. And you realize that in these dreams as you're sailing, that each of them are lines of a song that will bring a blessing back to the lands of the West, if those who till the earth speak it each spring. And for time's sake, because we're past 10, just a little bit, I was going to have you guys try to unscramble it, but you probably don't have time for that.
I think it's fun.
Yeah. So we'll see, because I know Hawk wants to do a finish-up thing here. And what I'll do is I'll give you 3 minutes. If you don't solo by then, in some semblance, then I'll give you this. Okay? A drops, dying sky. Each stanza has rhyming words.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Corn for you. You guys, Undying? Who isn't dying?
I've got Sky.
Okay. Hops, rams, and drops. Mended. There's no ended yet. That's yours. Sorry about this. Okay. Born. What rhymes with born? Born. Yeah. Ended. Who's got the ended one? You. How about dying? There you go, brother. Satisfying. Nearby. What rhymes with by?
Okay.
All right. We've got die. Warm. What rhymes with? It's corn and warm. It's near. How about tops? Try to decipher this. Adorn. That rhymes with yours. Tended. Not quite sure. Befriended. Crops. Each of you should have 4 lines now. Try to figure out how they go together. Remember what she said. She said sun, earth, and water. Sun, earth, and water. One of you has stanzas about the sun, one of you has stanzas about the earth, and one of you has stanzas about the water. And then there's 2 other stanzas. One of them is the first one, and one of them is the last. We have 2 minutes to figure out how this goes together.
Well, I don't know. They use the name Okentari is the one.
That's Yavanna.
Right. And
No, I
that's
have
the
Yavanna.
Kimantari is another name for Yavanna.
And you also remember that one ant wife, Wineberry, she sang the first 2 lines of the poem. O sun which rises in the east and sails across the sky, final fruit of the golden tree and sign of hope nearby. That's all she could remember. And that was the very beginning of the poem. So whoever has that
I've
has the
got
first
that.
stanza. So
I'm not sure how that fits. All that fits there.
So I've got the first stanza.
okay, so she's got the introduction stanza. Why don't you read it out loud?
O sun which rises in the east and sails across the sky, final fruit of the golden tree and signs of hope nearby. To west, O west, it draws our hearts, and with it travel high. To Kimantari's pastures, growing old till death may die.
Okay. Who has the sun?
I do.
Would you read it, please?
I'm not 100% sure about that.
Don't worry about it.
Those who love the sun do love the tree from which it was born. The sun, the blessing artist, and your strength to make it. I've got this too.
This is a period, it's the last one.
Nope. This is also.
It's okay. We're interchangeable.
For trees and fields of middle earth, for crops of wheat and corn, all fruits that swell and bound vine, let songs are earth's earth.
Okay, who has earth?
Earth and Middle Earth, whose soil along with the wise defended, the trouble stirs the evil's anger, gardens we have tended. By quiet care, its gifts to share, its virtues kindly mended, that from these labors all may find the golden tree defended.
Water.
What's the name? Leave? But I'm not sure about this one. Would you be kind enough to help me? Just on that one. I'm pretty sure that this.
We have started a hashtag.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
And
Okay, go ahead.
Of water quenches the thirst of the verdant vine and hops, and the laughter of streams and the sweat of men produce abundant crops. O Kintari, bless these fields and orchards with many grain drops. That the golden tree may grow and seeds in misty mountain top.
And the final one.
The golden tree upon the same
You never bothered to try. I didn't think it was
Lord, you're dying. She likewise saw the fruits of the sun. What shall make that song? Joyce when its Sion's sun, shone like the dark divine, and looks for fruit of gratitude rising to me.
Well done. So you've learned the song of Yavanna and the golden tree. You land at the havens, and you make your trek across. You don't go through the Shire because you have to scoot around, but you come back up to Bree finally. And when you get to Bree, You meet the theme master of the Prancing Pony. They've heard of your coming, and they're anxiously awaiting you. And the mayor of Hopperton, Samwise Gardner, is also there. They tell their story in the back room, so you guys all talk with them, and they're very interested in learning a lot, although you guys leave out the exact location of the house. And
in fairness, we were unconscious. We don't actually know the exact
Yeah,
location
it kinda
of the
helps.
We
inside.
know it's
You
big.
complete-
Wait a minute. So we're never going back to Fangor. I mean,
just
pretty
let me
weird.
finish.
Okay.
Thanks. Okay, the hobbits praise him with great praise. If the heroes remember to share the song of Yvonne and the Golden Tree, it's written down by Sam and passed on to help many folk. Where do you plant the apple seed?
I plant it on the crossroads next to us.
This is a joint decision.
Crossroads of Breed? How many want to do that?
I was thinking crossroads between where Rohan, Dylan, and Isaac
Everybody else?
It would be a great gift to them. To transplant it when they see it.
incredibly fair.
Then you plant one, and then when it's old enough to bear fruit, you
Plant
try to
another
plant
crossroads.
another. If someone would take that responsibility.
We don't have anyone who's going to live quite that long.
Poppy is a time traveling.
I mean, that's a fair
Okay.
point.
All right.
How long would it take
For-
to bear fruit?
So it doesn't matter. For their reward, so for your reward, Mary and Pippin gives each of you a chest of silver worth 10 treasure points. Put it on your second sheet, 10 treasure points. And also an opportunity as promised. First, you could go spend time in Fangorn Forest with Treebeard as his guest, or have the gift of a holding in the new city of Anuminas in the north, earning a higher standing among the people and serving King Elassar as one of his helpers. Or 3, joining a new band of warriors called the Troll Beaters, who ride up and down along the troll shaws, keeping the trolls from going to bowl. So which do you decide to do? This is the end of the adventure. Do you go to be with the Ents, go to serve the king, or you go fight the trolls?
I go.
He goes to Fangorn Forest. What do you do?
I go to face the trolls.
He faces the troll. What do you do?
Fangorn Forest, I already served the king.
Yeah. Okay.
Bear in the forest next to a different king.
Okay.
I go to the hands.
Yes. And of course, when you share all that you've learned with Treebeard and see his face, he is so thankful and so grateful for all that
She's
you've done.
coming.
Yes, and that message alone gives him the biggest smile ever, and that's
Give
worth
him
even
the
more than a
apple
chest
tree
of silver.
And tell him what she said.
All right, good job,
And let
guys.
him choose
Well done, everybody.
the right
Thanks for
spot.
not killing us all when we deserved it.
Right, no kidding. But by the grace of Ents alone.
I have to tell you,
Okay, we have to meet in the other room, guys. Sorry to delay things. I'm always so long-winded, darn it.
if I can have 1 minute of your time after this call.
Oh, yeah.
Just 1 minute.
Is that an actual Tolkien song?
Well, there's you can have a copy if you want.
I would actually.